Should the Dallas Cowboys be in full-blown panic mode yet? They were just blown out for the second week in a row, this time by the Baltimore Ravens. The final score was not indicative how lopsided that game truly was, and it seems like it's the same problems that's plagued them for years, specifically in run defense, that's once again rearing its ugly, ugly head. Let's talk about it.
Hey, this is a test of how great we can be, right? Here we go.
All right, so we're 3 weeks into this thing, and it just looks like we're once again not going to be able to stop the run in any way, shape, or form. All right, but a lot of people will call that a blueprint, but here's the thing, is not all the teams are going to have the personnel that you had against Baltimore and that you had against the Saints. All right, those are run-first teams, very good run teams. And listen, we got the Giants coming up this week. All right, I don't think that they're known for their running prowess. The Cowboys have owned them historically throughout the years, and so not really worried about that game. There's only a handful of games on this schedule to get to the playoffs, if they get to the playoffs, where I'm really concerned that they're going to get beat up on the run. And it doesn't mean that our run defense is going to be any better. It just means that this offense might start clicking and they can put up points forcing teams out of the run. And these teams might not have the same caliber or will not have the same caliber of run offense that the Ravens and the Saints have had. So we catch a little break there for the most part. All right, but the few games that I am worried about left on the schedule are the Lions, 49ers, the Falcons. That's 3 weeks back to back to back. All right, first we got the Giants and the Steelers, and then that's when that 3-game stretch starts. You also have the Eagles to worry about. I'm really not a fan of Jalen Hurts. I really don't think he's a really great quarterback, but they've got Saquon Barkley. They've got a decent offensive line, a good offensive line, I should say. Actually, not decent, more than decent. They're very good. And they could run the ball all over you if you can't jump up to an early lead. So really those 3 games I mentioned, Lions, 49ers, Falcons, I am worried about on the schedule as far as stopping the run. The Eagles, there's a lot of familiarity there between these two teams. I'm not crazy worried about it like I am the other 3, but it is still definitely a concern. All right, outside of that, you've got the Giants, the Steelers, you've got the Texans, the Commanders, Giants again, the Bengals, the Panthers, the Bucks, the Eagles again, and then the Commanders again. So out of all those teams, there's not a ton of teams that are really known for their running prowess. So I give the Cowboys, as it stands right now, this is subject to change, but I feel confident in saying there's a good chance they'll play well and beat the Giants. Good chance they'll play well and beat the Steelers. Good chance they'll play well and beat the Commanders ×2, the Giants again, the Panthers. I'm confident against the Bucks. Not a big Baker Mayfield guy. He's going to regress back to the mean at some point in time. We'll see if they figure out their running back situation in the ground game by the time the Cowboys play them in December. But if I'm doing my math right, that's an extra. You have 1 win right now. So Giants, Steelers. Okay, that puts you at 3 wins. And we look at Commanders ×2. It's 5 wins. Giants again, that's 6 wins. Panthers, that's 7 wins. Okay. So between all those games they have left, I'm assuming 10 games gets you into the playoffs. Can they beat any of these remaining teams? Can they beat the Lions, the 49ers, the Falcons, the Eagles ×2? Can they beat the Texans? Can they beat the Bengals? Can they beat the Eagles again? So that's 8 games that you've got left. You need to win 3 of those 8 games. Can the Cowboys do that to get to 10 wins? Question. Okay, forget about all the stuff the Cowboys are doing bad. They're doing good. You look at their opponents and you compare the rosters, compare the teams. Do you think this Cowboys offense will have it figured out by the time they play in 2 weeks, or really 3 weeks? Can this offense have their shit figured out when they go play the Lions? Are not completely inept and scoring only 6 points until 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter? Can they stop, at least to an extent, Lions rushing attack? Same thing goes for the 49ers and the Falcons. So when I look at the Cowboys team, this is my overall kind of viewpoint. I'm not in panic mode yet. If they come out and lay a stinker against the Giants, just wave the white flag, throw it out. This whole season's done. All right. There's no recovering from that. The Giants suck. They're one of the worst teams in the league. As long as you have Daniel Jones as a quarterback, you're not going to be a competitive team. I know they got in the playoffs, whatever. They're not a good team. All right, let's just face it. If they come out this Thursday, lay a stinker against these Giants, just pack it up. But they're not going to do that. There's no inkling in my body that's telling me that this Cowboys team is going to struggle against the Giants. I think it's going to be a blowout. It'll be a fun game, a get-right game for this team. And then we'll have a full week and a couple days to prepare on Sunday night against the Steelers. Okay? But if they come out, they lay a stinker, like I said, it's done with. It's over. Just mail this whole season in at that point. All right. The only thing the Cowboys can really do to improve against the run at this point is they have to make a trade, because the defensive tackles you have on this team right now aren't worth a damn. All right. Mozzie, once again, getting pushed around. You see him 4 or 5 yards downfield, getting blocked back. And it's just not working out. All right, it's just not where I had high hopes for Mozzie coming into the season. Really more hope than anything else. There was nothing that I've seen from him to say that he should be improved, but it's really just a fan hoping for the best. All right, they trade for Phillips, who's now on IR for injury concerns. Not really. He just didn't play well against the Saints. Ended up on IR. You have Linval Joseph. He's 35 years old. Not worth a damn. They picked up Carlos Watkins after cutting him. Again, not really worth a damn. They don't have any defensive tackles on this team. And the edges aren't playing well either. They're getting washed out of plays. The scheme isn't great because they're getting schemed out of plays, specifically Micah Parsons. So the only thing they can really do, in my opinion, to improve this run defense against the better teams, not the teams that are bad. You're going to see them play well against the run, against teams that don't have run-first offense, run-heavy offenses. It's not going to help you come playoff time. It's not going to help you come weeks against better teams. But the only thing they can really do is make a trade for a premier, or at least a competent enough defensive tackle to at least be competitive and keep you in the game against these run-first teams. I don't know if they're going to do that. There's a lot of rumors out there around running backs as well. I think they're more likely to make a trade for a defensive tackle versus a running back, specifically because they have Cook in the backfield and laying in wait. They probably want to see what they have with him before they make any moves there. But this running scheme also sucks. This inside zone sucks. McCarthy's whole run scheme sucks. Offensive line coach sucks. It's just not a good situation for any running back to come into. So I think that a defensive tackle can come in and make an impact. I don't know if trading for a running back is going to make a huge impact or as big as trading for that help on the defensive interior. So with that being said, I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that. I think they're content with rolling, seeing how this thing goes throughout the season, seeing if they can improve. Again, keep in mind, too, this is Mike Zimmer's first year. He's only on a one-year deal, so will he get the chance to improve in the second season? Will he get a second season? I don't know. Depends how bad this thing goes this year. But I just don't think that they're... Historically, looking at what they've done in their tendencies in the past, they're not really inclined to make a trade mid-season for a key piece that they're missing. That's kind of what they did with Amari Cooper some years ago, where they went wide receiver by committee. Didn't work out. They traded for Amari Cooper mid-season. Turned their season around. They ended up being pretty good offensively that year. But they just don't normally do that, so I don't see that really in the works. Could be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. I don't see that happening. So again, this Thursday against the Giants, it's going to be a get-right game. You're going to think the Cowboys are improved defensively. They're probably not. We'll see. Really, the next test. The Steelers are not a bad team. I think the Cowboys can probably handle them. The next test really is going to come October 13th, 4:30 p.m. against the Detroit Lions. That is a run-heavy offense. It's not a Mike Shanahan tree, but the scheme is very similar. On outside zones, things like that, stretches. They'd like to test the edges. The running backs also have the ability to bounce the ball outside or cut back inside on an outside stretch type play. So we'll see that week, I believe, if they're truly improved against the ground game or not, as far as the run defense goes. And then we'll take it from there, guys, and we'll see. I'm not hitting the panic button yet. If they come out and lay a stinker against the Giants, I'm slamming that panic button as hard as I can. I'm rooting for draft picks at this point, or draft position, I should say. I don't think it'll happen this Thursday, but You never know. We'll see. Let me know what y'all think below. Is the season doomed? Are we screwed? Can this team make a comeback? Can this team rebound? Do you think that this offensive performance in the fourth quarter, specifically the 9 last minutes in this fourth quarter, bode well? Do you think they can build off of that? Or do you think that was just nonsense, garbage time? Ravens playing soft. What do you think about their chances for the rest of the season? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Catch you later.